world of YouTube out here with a interesting mystery. And when I find something that I like of mystery, oh man, I gotta get into it and I gotta make for it. And right now I wish I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico to go to this site. I mean, in the Lost, I think, what the hell, something Canyon, Red Canyon in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, back in my day, if you remember, all the old timers remember, of course, Bugs Bunny. And you know what? The thing of meanings of people catching, like, in movies now, adults catching stuff for meaning, and adult stuff in children's cartoons or movies that sort of, the parent ain't bored while he's sitting there. And they throw out some adult jokes in the movies. Of course, the kid don't understand. And they get a good laugh for themselves. But one thing that I've always took into notice, and I mean, always had it in the back of my mind, of, when Bugs Bunny would say, well, I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. You could be one of them travelers with the sense of no direction and get lost. Yeah, I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. But, sometimes I think and sit there for myself. I don't know why I would think it, but then I started hearing stories about Albuquerque and New Mexico. A lot of crazy stuff happens out there. And just nothing more crazier than this. Of course, the summer of 1973, like I said, I always took it in mind. And obviously this young boy and his father went out to do some, what the hell are they doing? I don't know. I'll get up to that in a minute. But this is 5 unsolved mysteries that still haunt the world. And this is top 5. I don't know. I'll get his name in a minute. YouTube channel I subscribe to. Of course, I subscribe to everybody and they don't subscribe to me. But anyways, I mean, as bizarre as this story is, in this video it claims that, I'm going to run it a little here, and all it is here is CB radios in New Mexico pick up some crazy stuff, and oh yeah, I think they do, boy. Oh, let me, someone, a young boy trapped inside a cab of a truck with his father calling for help. Now, CB radios, if nobody knows what they are, of course, I do have one. I gotta get a video up of that just to show it. But due to the fact that radios do give in the frequencies to communicate with ghosts, mind you, I can just imagine what this call out for help was, or even say so, what really happened on this road with his father in flipping a truck over in a ditch. And I mean, this video claims that, I want to say this before I move on, that the search crew was out searching because the boy was still talking on the radio. Lots of people have heard this call out for, on CBs. And CBs back in the day, and I mean, yeah, they could travel long distance pretty good if you had the right antenna or whatnot. But they were damn good for communication and all. But what is bizarre is that this video claims that there was a search party helicopter and seen the truck, but couldn't get the right location or something, or was it the boy could see the search chopper? And it was going back and forth in this video, saying this that no one, but all in all, if it was at night or whatever the hell it was, they gave up on the search, never found the truck. So they claim that this could have been a hoax. But if there was a hoax, I mean, they would have found someone playing the prank too. But they never did. I mean, geez. It could have been a ghost literally communicating because it did happen. But that's the thing. No one ever looked in on to the fact that, years before, that maybe this could have been a ghost. Because like I say, these radios and frequencies pick up a lot of stuff, whether it be, other truckers or people back then used to have them in their homes. I mean, one of the classical movies you can watch with a CB radio in it is The Shining. And these were very, very popular back then. I mean, but the frequency and how it can pick up ghosts, never crossed the mind of people back then. Never, I don't even know if these people are ever searched into any other accidents that happened. But to me, it's like, what the hell? And, I would love to find out what really happened that day or night. Then again, Albuquerque, New Mexico is around the desert, and the desert out near Area 51, probably not as close, but in that surrounding area, a lot of strange things occur. So, I mean, that is a possibility that something could have, or someone, just like The Strangers, the movies The Strangers. You get someone attacking you or whatever, do crazy things, bring your truck and body to somewhere and kill it, eat it, cannibalism, whatever the hell it may be. This case still remains unsolved, so there he is, calling for help. According to the New York Times article, the boy Larry told rescuers that his father were in an accident. Father's dead. Oh, it's a tractor trailer. I don't even, it must have been, if it was a tractor trailer, it don't say that in other articles that I read. I want to try and go this, but the search rescue team, dog. Yeah, they had all this airplanes find evidence of the truck trapped child in the area. Couldn't find no evidence. At one point, Larry reported being able to see the searchlight of an overhead airplane, but eventually his calls stopped. So that means if the calls stopped, either the battery of the truck died, or, or I don't know what would make it stop, but other than that, unless someone, did happen to, set up a thing to flip a truck over and kill somebody to rob them, and then when they get back and they, check their trap. This is talking about how it's all a hoax. And I mean, that was it for that. That's what it was, a spotlight, and you could see the searchlight of an airplane. But in another article I read, the person claims and talks about, the truck tipped over and the boy was, using the radio, and wouldn't the antenna be busted so he could not use it? If that was a tractor trailer or a pickup truck or whatever, don't even mention that either. Because, the friggin' truck was never found. So, to me, it could have been obviously a pickup truck. Because if it was a tractor trailer, man, that thing would have been found, literally. A pickup truck now, mind you, if anybody has, could be lifted up by a tow truck and dragged away easily. So, I mean, whatever was out there at that time and people not looking into, like serial killers. Supposedly the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on a true story of a small town in Texas that died. Oh no, Eugene, that was that Ed Eugene. Used to cut up bodies, put faces on, but I don't know where they got the concept of that, but still, out in Texas, small town, wherever he came from. it's just mind baffling. There could have been literally someone out there that freaking did that stuff, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, drive a tow truck, knock people off the road. Whoop. Technical difficulties. And, get the person, belongings, stealing, and whatever the case may be. And for the authorities, yeah, they did a thorough search with dogs and this and that, but of course they didn't do, I don't know if they did a scent thing, because, if you got a scent, dogs would trace it, of course. And yeah, when you got a boy calling, but you don't know where he's from, where this and that, you don't have a piece of article and clothing from that person, sometimes it would be difficult to find a trace. And I mean, just to think of, someone picking up, no one ever thought of that. I don't know if anybody ever thought of that, but where it was like 1973 and yeah, man, it's just, you can go on and on with the questions, on and on and on. And I mean, that's my thoughts and theories. If there was a accident and there was a boy in a truck and they claimed this kid was 7 years old, I mean, I think honestly that this person was targeted. And people out in the outskirts of town, if you don't, you never know who lives among us. There's so many hidden murderers out there and serial killers that to this day that they could still freaking be out there, or new ones emerge. And back in the 70s, man, there was a lot of missing kids, a lot of killings, a lot of just crazy, insane crap that went on. But back then it was easier than today. Sometimes, they do get away with stuff these days, but there's a lot of stuff in technology, right? That's cracking cases and that you can find. But other than that, sometimes there's nothing you can do to find a murderer if the person is taking in all this information that the news puts out there, and they watch other people's mistakes and then they do, something different. Yeah, that's that sometimes, like I say, in order to catch a killer, you got to kind of think like one. So if they're watching the news and they watch people make mistakes of what they did, and they know what not to do and come up with better ideas to what to do. You can just imagine what these people had, because this case has never been solved. No bodies, no truck. So that's my thoughts and theories and conclusion on that. That is not exactly what is told in the story. I mean, you can check this out yourself, but to me, the little bit of information that I read and came up on, and everything else that was not mentioned or searched like I thought of, that's just insane. That's what happens with these cases. They get, they happen and they don't get thoroughly checked. I mean, that's my point of this whole thing. Nothing ever gets thoroughly checked. Sometimes, you don't have to thoroughly check. You got the case solved and this and that. And I'm sure detectives like it that way. But when there's something like this, bizarre, strange happenings, and nothing comes up since 1973, mind you, I mean, yeah, something wasn't thoroughly checked in my eyes. So, disclose all that, man. You gotta check you gotta come up and think of things that could have possibly happened. Now, like I say, I can't say they didn't or they did, but if they didn't, man, it was just, the question is, and half these police officers probably have passed away since then. So you'll still never have the original case. And it was closed, the search was stopped, so whatever happened of anybody else picking this up and checking it out? I mean, yeah, there could be like an abandoned friggin' house out in them areas, and trucks and stuff and cars. I mean, movies you think that come out and they're fiction, sometimes them people that make them movies are making it, you can't disclose nothing no more. You got to think like there's something out there, even though if it's fake or make believe. Because sometimes, think about it, it comes up to be true or they exist. And that's what I do, man. I like to come up with thoughts and theories on it. And I mean, if that's what if that, you gotta think like a killer to catch a killer. And honestly, I mean, sometimes I don't like thinking like that because that's not my nature. Although, if one of these people, did something to me, or these crazy screw ups like the strangers try to come up and killing me, I'll hesitate not to come back, grab them by their throat, and snap their neck dead where they stand, because I never want that happening to me, my family, kids, anything. It's just sick. And when you don't have a killer instinct, which sometimes it is good to have, when you have sickos in the world that could be existing like this. I mean, that's my thoughts and theories on this. I think these two were targeted and taken away with their truck, whatever the case may be, and for that not to be fully searched like that. They're out there. There's people out there like that do this. So, I mean, you gotta think. And gun control, yeah, the sane people should be able to have them as right. Guns do not kill people. People kill people. So, you gotta think. People like this, stories like this exist. You have to think the unsupernatural, or you have to think like there's something out there, or this happens. You disappear. Then you're in a black, dark hole for the rest of your life. Whether you be dead or whether you be kidnapped by some lost soul that just has get a kick and a thrill to see how far and more and do to get away with stuff like this. Phew. The lost boy Larry. Very interesting case, man. And I like to one day get out there and check out the scene. Until that day comes, please subscribe, because I need more subscribers since I can pay it again to do that. Thanks to YouTube. Hopefully they take my thing I sent in 2 weeks ago. Oh, man. Checking over and doing a review of my channel and take a second consideration and look into mine, but getting paid again, so this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Search mysteries. What the hell is that goddamn light that just came on? There's like a ball light there. I didn't even touch that. Oop, there it is. Oh, that's what it is. Indicator light. Notification light. Anyways, world of YouTube, be safe. Take care. And hey, like I say, always beware. Out.